What is up, guys, and welcome to the second episode of Velocity Culture. I'm here with my favorite guys, Bealish.
I am like the greatest master of corn ever live. How's it going, guys?
And Aegon.
I'm the second greatest master of corn to ever live.
And we make no fucking sense. Welcome to Velocity Culture. All right.
That's why we're here.
So, we're going to start off our gaming topics this week with something that should have been implemented a really long time ago, and that these two know a lot about. It's the PS4 name change.
Woo!
Hey, Aegon, this is where you woo. Do a woo.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm secretly low-key sad that we can't like make our names like super long. Like I want to be like the first paragraph of Harry Potter or something as my name. Something ridiculous like that.
You wanted to have like 300 characters in there?
Yes, absolutely. That should be an option. I want people to be confused when they're reading my name.
I mean, and this was a big thing for Sony because, you know, they've said for like 100 years that they wouldn't be doing this. And then, you know, Steam has always let us do this, and Xbox since, what was it? I think it's since 360 we were allowed to change our names with paying. So this was a big step for them, especially because they said they would never do this.
Yeah, totally. I also found it interesting that they make it super easy for you to do it, and the first time is free, but then any time after is $5. So I've already wasted like $10 in name changes already.
It's true. He's changed his name like twice. So Aegon's only changed his name once.
Because I'm not willing to pay anything.
That's true. He's a broke ass crack addict that nobody should talk to. Don't talk to him. All right.
Hashtag Aegon's a crack addict.
Aegon's a crack addict. All right. So I think we got everything we need out of that. The next topic I got, since that was a really, really short one, because it's just for any of those people out there that didn't know, that live under a rock, that are Patrick Star, that are stupid. Yeah, but Aegon doesn't really know about this part. It's the online servers for PSN. Multiple single-player games will be losing their online servers in the next few months. We're talking about Drive Club. Drive Club servers are going to be kicked to the curb on March 31st of 2020, along with like Starblood Arena, Gravity Rush 2. They're all going to be dying. I mean, what would you say? There's not a huge popular base for any of those games really anymore, but Drive Club has always had that online going on, and it's crazy to see that going down.
It's a bit surprising from like a time standpoint because it's kind of fast as they're putting like the support for servers already on those games. But then again, to be entirely honest, none of those games are particularly popular. I'm sure if one of those games was Fortnite, people would be outraged. But since it's one of these games, I think it's going to go under the rug. I don't think people are even going to notice those games no longer have online support, honestly.
Well, they've already got a petition from the Gravity Rush 2 players because those online servers have only been up 18 months, not even 2 years.
So it's basically going to be me, you, PG, and like 3 other nerds complaining that the server's down.
But
like,
hey, man, that's a big
cares.
petition. That's a big petition for gamers, okay?
Finance that petition. Here we go.
I'm just saying, we can still play the original 15-year-old Gears of War online on Xbox, but we can't play Gravity Rush 2 in a few months.
That's correct, but we don't want to compare those two. They're different platforms, remember?
They're different platforms, but I'm just saying, just saying.
That's it, I'm switching to Xbox.
Hey, no.
Well, what he means by switching to Xbox is he's actually going to plug his Xbox for once and actually try to play it. That's what he means.
Then he's going to be like, the green hurts my eyes.
All this heresy is in my face.
Dude, that reminds me of Warhammer 40K. Heresy.
Or any of like the Wolfenstein games where you're always a Nazi or killing a Nazi. It's a pretty straightforward plot.
A lot of Nazi killing these days. I don't understand. I thought Germany was over that. Are they not over that?
It looks to me like someone is holding a grudge.
He may be a Nazi. Don't tell anybody.
He may be.
Just to add a little bit more to what PG was talking about, The funny part is that like on Ask PlayStation's Twitter, they're asking them questions a lot about these games, and they have completely just ignored the public. Like they haven't even bothered to respond to them.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
All those petitions that were going up, they haven't responded to any of those either. Nothing. They haven't said sorry. They haven't done anything. It's kind of ridiculous. I was like,
the levels of I don't care are very high from Sony right now. I appreciate your grind, Sony.
I appreciate the grind.
That's basically like the creators of Game of Thrones with their fans. Your petitions don't matter.
You need to calm down. You complained about this last episode. You can't complain about it in the second episode. Literally, you named yourself Aegon. You cannot complain about it.
The only thing I was sad about, the only petition I ever made was to bring back Lord Bealish, but whatever. It is what it is.
He got 3 people to sign it. And he paid them $5 each.
And 2 of them were me, my right hand and my left hand.
My God.
Oh man, that's funny.
Okay. One of the bigger things that they actually were talking about this week was this one came from GameSpot. It's a article on Animal Crossing. On the Switch, it's not going to be supporting cloud save, which is what it's been doing for a long time. But the producer of the game, Higashi Nogami, said it's to prevent the manipulating time of the game, because you can cheat the game that way. And it's really strange because cloud saves was like one of the main perks of having a subscription to Switch Online, right?
Yeah.
And one of the big things is you need Switch Online to play this game. So you're basically playing it and not using the cloud for anything.
I want to basically say, yeah, you guys are being like complete idiots about this. One, stop making it the player's fault that you don't know how to code your games properly. I'm just gonna start there. And then basically, it shouldn't be the player's fault that you don't know how to build your system in a way where people can't manipulate time. You don't have to like punish them for that. So I think that was really odd that they did that. But hey, it is what it is. What can I expect? They're making Animal Crossing, for God's sakes. Their level of talent is very debatable right now. But yeah.
That one hurt.
Yeah, I just have to get him, hit him early. Hit him early and hard.
That's really dumb.
Can I read you off a list real quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
Splatoon 2, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Dark Souls Remastered, Dead Cells, NBA 2K19. Those are all the games on Nintendo's platform that don't support cloud saving. And that is straight retarded.
Yeah, I've got that right here too. And I was about to go over that with you too. I was like, and they're implementing it in more games. 2K and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, Pikachu and Eevee, and Dark Souls. Obviously, all 3 of those are going to need your online subscription. So
you're paying for nothing. Good job, Nintendo. I appreciate it.
Personally, I got a email from Nintendo telling me I can't talk about Nintendo, so I'm gonna keep my comments to myself. No comment. Please proceed.
Cutting this entire conversation.
That's funny. So what else you got?
I wanted to go over that a little bit more because it's also interesting. It's going to be supporting more players than usual too. It's going to have up to 8 players, and it's going to feature couch co-op for the first time on Animal Crossing.
Interesting, but does that have like multiplayer co-op online, or is that an option? Because it does have.
It has 8-player local and online.
Nice.
We have a really, really interesting thing that's going to be coming out. There's an article on The Verge that's talking about a new gaming and music festival. Everybody knows Ninja. Everybody knows the streaming guy Ninja. He does Fortnite all the time, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know DJ Marshmello. Bealish does, because remember that song Friends? Where she's like, we're just friends.
I'll let you explain it because I already know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So they're doing DJ Marshmello and Ninja are doing a hybrid music festival in Las Vegas. And it's going to be like the first of its kind. It's crazy. So I don't know if Aegon's heard about this either. It all started, like, the mix between the genres started when DJ Marshmello performed a concert inside of Fortnite.
Yeah, that was definitely kind of cool. I'm not going to lie there.
Yeah. Aegon, did you hear about that?
Yeah, I didn't know who it was, but I heard about the concert.
Yeah, it's insane. So, and it's kind of weird because it was on 6 player servers. So you'd only see like 60 people run around, but that's a lot of people to be at a concert in a server at one time. And that started a whole new thing where it's a new implementation of our like music culture going into video games and being expressed to a player. It's insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they keep talking about how Fortnite's like an ecosystem or whatever, and how they're going to deliver more media to the platform. And I'm guessing this is their first step.
And that, I mean, I know you and I aren't big fans of Fortnite. Sorry, guys. We're more PUBG, Apex Legends guys. But Fortnite is a new cultural icon. It really is. Epic Games did something really cool with that. But moving on from just that, it's going to be the gaming festival is going to be called Metarama, which for some fucking reason, obviously, it's going to be called Metarama. But so far for the music lineup, they've already got Logic, they've got Snoop Dogg, they got Lil Yachty, they got Whit Lowry. For the gaming lineup, they've got Jacksepticeye, Dr. Lupo, Pokimane, Courage, Nick Merckx, and Tim the Tatman already. So they've got huge lineups for both music and gaming.
I actually went to their website, the MetaRamaFestival.com page they made, and it looks like it was designed in the 90s. Like, this layout looks terrible. But they got like spinning controllers and shit in 2D, a spinning monitor, and I'm like, what are you doing, guys? Who designed this? But
hey, that makes me excited. That makes me excited because Logic is my guy.
So you will definitely be looking at it, right?
Definitely.
Good luck getting him to play Fortnite, though.
I haven't played it to this day, so.
But it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be at the Festival Grounds venue in Las Vegas, and there's gonna be live music. They're gonna have play along streams. Play along streams. when you just go to a park and you just play along the stream. You're like, man, look at all these music guys. I'm just gonna play in the stream. Yay!
You have to throw rocks in the stream. That's what we do in Dominican Republic.
Back in DR. But no, you're going to be able to play along your favorite streamers. There's going to be tournaments. There's going to be drone racing, VR, and an on-site arcade while everybody's playing their live music. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be October 19th and 20th at the festival grounds, and tickets are starting at $150 for the weekend, and there's going to be discounts for groups and VIP tickets.
I feel like Fortnite just ran out of like ideas in terms of how to make money off people. So now they're gonna be like, "Oh, you want to go to like a concert in a game? Got you, $50." And then you just do like a software update on their game and then charge you the money. It's a brilliant business idea. I'm jealous I didn't come up with it first.
You have to admit, like what they've been doing recently has not just say streamers and especially these musical artists. Like when Ninja played with Drake too. That was one of the highest watched streams of all time. They're finding new ways to implement themselves into new fan groups, into fan bases where they shouldn't belong, but people watch it anyway.
I know that CNET posted an article where like Ninja failed to qualify for the esports Fortnite thing they were doing. I thought that was pretty funny. Just wanted to throw that in there.
You want to tell me more about that?
No, I don't want to tell you more about that. I just want to throw that in there because it's funny that he's like the most popular Fortnite streamer and he sucks apparently.
Someone is holding a grudge. I guess Bealish sucks at Fortnite.
Well, apparently me and Ninja both suck at Fortnite.
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh my god, that's funny. Okay, you can.
I'm gonna make a prediction.
Prediction time.
Next year at this time, we're gonna have Ninja as a guest on this podcast.
Is this like an ongoing thing with you? Or are you gonna make these outrageous predictions every time we make a podcast?
If this is gonna be every episode, I'm gonna keep saying what's actually gonna happen. We're gonna be talking about Ninja next year, sitting in our rooms, and then we're gonna be eating like little starbursts and crying, being like, "Why is it Ninja here?"
And I'll be reading another article from CNET that states that Ninja failed to make the esports team again.
Oh,
it's not good.
So many shots at Ninja today. Like,
I'm sure he doesn't care. He could do a stream of him taking a piss, and he would still get more views than me. So it's fine.
That is.
This podcast is gonna be called Ninja Sucks? ?
Not an actual
Ninja.
Ninja.
There's this title for the video already. Ninja Sucks ?
I can't believe we spent 3 minutes of our podcast talking about
Just
how
talking
Ninja
about
sucks. Oh man, what else you got, my man?
All right, here's a recent thing that's just been coming out lately. It's Donald Trump related too, so everybody's gonna love this. League of Legends has actually been blocked in Iran and Syria since our drone's been shut down.
Wait, they were available before?
Yeah, obviously.
So
what do you think
people are
Iran
not,
and Syria does? do you think they don't have computers?
I think they have computers, but I think they're like so radical. They don't let anybody do anything with them. That's what I was thinking. But I don't understand their government too well. So you tell me what's going on over there.
Well, right now, and this is just a little. This is a little article. Sorry, a little article from PC Gamer. It's about the tensions that are growing between the Iran and the U.S. because of the drone being shot down, and Syria has been supporting Iran through all of it because they've been allies forever, obviously. But everybody knows League of Legends. The developer of it is Riot Games, and they're here in the U.S. Of course, I'm just reading that part straight off this. But it's really crazy because it's like U.S. regulation is not letting them log on.
That's crazy. That's kind of hilarious in like a lot of ways. The only people who really get hurt from this are the LOL players. What the hell do they have to do with Iran and US? Like it sucks for them mostly. It doesn't really mean much for like the Iran government and the United States government. They don't really care. Why would it matter to them if they can't play LOL? But the people who actually want to play the game have nothing to do with whatever's going on between them. So I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, and literally even back to Epic Games, the store says it's available everywhere except where prohibited by U.S. laws, such as North Korea and Iran.
That is so sad.
I'm gonna read you some Reddit post. This guy named Duck_my_pitiful_life posted.
Okay.
Iran is bad, now Syria. What is going on? What is the U.S. doing it? Great spelling, but I thought that was funny. Funny post.
Yo, but this is crazy. Not gonna lie, this is gonna go off topic for a minute. That was one of our more advanced drones too that got shot down. And threatening them with war though? I can't believe Trump got that pissed. He's like, my expensive toy got broken. Time to tax the taxpayers even more. Go to war.
It's a power move. You see, he's not honestly going to go to war. He's just saying Iran would be stupid to try to fight us, so I'm going to claim that we're going to war.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, it's the same thing that the Philippines did to Trudeau just a little bit ago when Canada was shipping their trash to Philippines, and they said they couldn't take it, and the Philippines president was just like, "We're going to go to war if you don't take your trash back." It's the same thing. It is. It's a power move.
PG, how come every time you imitate a president, they sound like Vince McMahon?
Because this is what all people in power sound like. Now I am in power.
Now tell him you're fired.
You're fired.
There we go. Now you're Vince McMahon.
I'm PG. I am now a god.
This is gonna be gold. Love it. All right, what else you got, my man? We gotta keep this rolling because we spent way too much time on that topic.
It's true. I've only got 2 or 3 more. I'm cutting it kind of short today because I know you both have stuff to do. I wanted to go over my stream of Beholder that I did on Wednesday. Dude, that game is hardcore. So I only played for about maybe 2 hours, right? And all you do is you're managing a tenant building in a post-apocalyptic kind of total dictatorial. It's a dictatorship. It's an evil dictatorship. They're watching everybody. All right. As I was saying, Beholder. So you manage a tenant building in a evil dictatorship, and it's really complicated because all these people that you're managing, some of them are really good people, and the government is kind of like either you would say the communist dictatorship, Stalin dictatorship. Stalin. I'm trying to settle.
Just getting way too political right now.
I'm seeing a pattern.
but it really is. It's like the Nazi regime or the Stalin regime, and you have to keep watch over all these people. And if they do anything that the government doesn't like, you have to report it to the government. So say they play, and here's another cool thing: like laws keep popping up all the time on your screen that like outlaw something else. So say at the beginning, drugs are outlawed, right? Well, literally later on, it popped on my screen that like importing importing foreign fish was outlawed.
Oh, wow.
Crying in public was outlawed. Gathering in a group of 3 or more was outlawed. And I was like, okay, all right, so I have to keep an eye out for this now. And it was really interesting because sometimes you wouldn't want to kick somebody out. You would have to like you would try and hold them, like, you know, keep them safe in your apartment building. But a big thing was my son's tuition ran out for his college, and my daughter got really sick, and it was going to cost me about $17,000 for both. So I was like, the government will give me money for turning these people in. What do I do? Do I turn in good people to save my own family, or do I sacrifice my own family's well-being for the well-being of someone else?
The real question would be, what would the NSA do?
The real question is, when is the NSA going to make this a reality?
Oh, this is already happening. Don't get it twisted, people.
The real question is, these people that you're turning in, are they Nintendo fans?
Oh.
Taylor, cut it out. Cut it out.
No, I'm going to leave that one in. That one can stay. That one's funny. I am the judge, jury, and executioner, and I say it stays.
But I found it to be really. Sometimes there were really hard choices. I'm not gonna lie. It was really fun. I didn't get to play too much. I would love to play more. I'll probably stream it again soon. But it was deep. It was actually pretty deep.
Yeah, that's kind of too real for me, man. That's like real life right there. You can't be like messing with my privacy that way. I'll get really like squirmy and cringy.
And then there was this funny part that I gotta tell you. It's so funny. So I was helping this doctor that never had time to like get a girlfriend or anything, and he's like, "Huh, well, if I could meet a lady." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Oh, well, you know, I have so much time on my hands because I'm always at the hospital saving lives." And he says, "What do you mean?" And then the guy's just like, "Help me find a girlfriend. That is what I'm telling you. Help me find a girlfriend." So I go upstairs to this old lady living on the second floor, and I'm like, "Yo, you got anybody for this guy? He's kind of whining like a bitch. He just wants a girlfriend. Can you help me out?" And she says, "Yeah, my niece. My niece is a beautiful girl. I'll tell her to come over and we can chat and stuff." And so eventually this girl comes over and she says, "Hey, I'm her niece, blah, 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 blah. I'd love to meet him." And I say, "Oh, perfect." I go and get the guy. I bring him out to meet her. She moves in with him. And maybe a few in-game weeks later, they're like, "Oh, we're getting married." And I was like, "Okay, that's quick." But he says, "I don't know too much about her. Can you help me find out a little more about what she likes so that I could get a nice wedding present?" And so, of course, I go to her aunt that's on the second floor. And, yo, this bitch, she's like, "That's not my niece, you idiots, you buffoon. I don't know who that is. My niece can't make it for another 2 weeks. You just let that crazy witch in here." So one of the weirdest things out of nowhere was this chick was impersonating her, and I have no idea who she is, so I have to spy on her and find out who she is.
You would think that if anybody would know, it'd be the person who's spying on everybody.
Which is me.
Yes.
Yeah, but and that's what the lady told me too. She's like, "You're part of the government. Go spy on her and find out who she is."
Oh, she knew the truth. She knew the truth that hurts.
Yeah. Well, I had talked to her husband before, and I told him, because I had spied on him for a bit, and he's like, "I'm a loyal servant to this country," and I was like, "You know, I'm spying on everybody for this country." He's like, "You are? That's so honorable. I'll tell you everything I know." So
yeah, dude, that sounds insane. That's like one of those crazy stories that you can't like really make up. You're like, what kind of crazy psycho was there developing this? Like, what was he on?
Literally, it's an insane game. I highly recommend it so far. It's mind-boggling.
How are the graphics?
There are 2D graphics. It's kind of like moving a 2D cartoon, but it's actually got its own it's got its own feel. It's dark. It's gritty. Everything looks like it would be like in East Berlin when the communists were ruling over. It kind of looked kind of grody and stuff. But like, you get a lot of heart when you talk to your family and stuff, and you're like, man, why do I actually feel something about a 2D character?
Yeah,
cool.
I can honestly describe it to you a little bit better. It basically looks like, you remember how Sims 2 looks like that type of art style in the back, except it's like darker and grittier, and then the characters are basically like silhouettes. So you can see like their eyes are white and like their shirts are black. So they look like black globs with like some white detail on them, basically, the characters. And then when an object goes off, you're gonna see like an exclamation point, so you can interact with it. So
yeah, or an exclamation point or a question mark. Yeah, it's very. I don't know how to put it because it's a very deep game. There are very funny moments and there are very heartbreaking moments.
That's on Steam, cool. This is one of the highest rated games, so it's like overwhelmingly positive how people feel about it. And shout out to War Lamp Games. This is like their only game they've ever made, and it's very good. Good job, guys.
Actually, Beholder 2 is out also, and it is also being rated pretty high.
Oh, is it? I didn't see it on their list.
Yeah, is
it not on Steam?
It is on Steam, yeah.
Oh, I guess I must have missed it.
But yeah, I hope everybody gets the chance to try that. I got to try it. It was very, very good. And the last thing I wanted to talk about before I switch it over is I wanted to talk about a game that I'm going to play because it was recommended to me, and I think you, out of all people, Bealish, should look it up right now. It is called Void Bastards.
Oh, that's an awesome name.
Yeah, it is made by the BioShock and System Shock developers. It's a strategy shooter, and kind of like it's got a gothic comic art style in the first person. So what you do is you are a convict that is being put on spaceships to scavenge, so that you and your ship can make it back out of this like little galaxy map to your destination. And you have to survive through all this, though. It's got like a Mario map where you go from place to place, getting resources and stuff. So when you go to a spot, it'll give you a map of that place. And you really have to like note the ship's layout. So you have to find what you want, who you want to fight. Like it'll show you like where the enemies are. And you need to decide, yo, do I want to fight them so that I can get this? Or do I just want to go over here through like the locker bay and get this and then run out and stuff like that? You have to decide like strategically what you want out of it and if it's worth fighting for.
Oh, wow.
And one of the cool things is you can use your environment to your advantage. So say you can turn off the power and go running in and shooting stuff, or you can shoot enemies out of airlocks, stuff like that.
Oh, this was actually a very new game. It was released in May 28th.
It was. It's very new, yes. I know 2 people playing it right now. And a good friend of mine at work, I'm going to call him K-Dog. Thank you, K-Dog.
Hypothetical K-Dog.
Hypothetical K-Dog. There is no K-Dog. I don't have any friends. Joke's on everyone listening. But
I'm your friend.
You don't count, Akon. We're closer. We're like brothers. Only closer than that. We're like loving brothers.
Ugh.
We're brothers in the wall.
We're brothers of the Night Watch. Sometimes we cuddle. We cuddle on the top of the wall.
You guys are worse than Jamie and Cersei out here. What's going on?
Yo, so many Game of Thrones references right now. Why are we such fanboys?
I'm such a big fanboy. I may get like the outline of Lord Baelish's face on my back. It'd be awesome.
You need to stop. You're going too far with this.
Too far? Okay. I thought I can absorb the persona. I guess not.
Dude, I thought you were getting the Citadel on your back. You gotta get Baelish on your chest.
Yeah, definitely getting the Citadel on my back. That'll be awesome. Hey, Aegon, do you even know what the Citadel is?
Oh my god.
If I know what the Citadel is.
Yes.
They keep all the books there.
Yo, he's never played Mass Effect. How would he know?
Oh, okay. Well, it's the main city you go into Mass Effect for Mass Effect 3, so that city looks awesome.
But the Citadel is a place in Game of Thrones, though.
As well, yes.
Oh my god.
That one.
Can we get back to Void Bastards? I wasn't done. Thank you. All right.
When you say bastard, I think of myself.
You're
Okay,
a void bastard.
I literally know your dad. You are not a bastard. Okay.
I'm Aegon.
He's a bastard from the north.
I know your guys' dads. I know. Okay. Neither of you. All right. So in Void Bastards, don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Bastards.
Anyways, oh my god. I'm about to throw off my headset. I'm about done with both of you. Okay. So in Void Bastards, you can craft tools and weapons from all the supplies that you gather, and you can make better tools and weapons. Obviously, it's you know.
It's called crafting. Yes.
Yeah. But I thought it was cool. Anyways, one of the cool things is later on, what happens is pirates will actually attack other places while you're attacking them. So not only will that map be filled with normal enemies, but also all these pirates will be flooding in while you're attacking their ship. So you'll have the normal enemies and these pirates coming after you.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna cut to the end right now because I know we're getting a little short on time for me.
No, I think we're good. I want to talk a little bit about it too. When you pull it up on Steam, I noticed that the requirements for it are kind of crazy. They're like 64-bit processor. That you need a GTX 660 or a Radeon 7850, 2 gigabytes at least, and 8 gigs of RAM. And then I look at the graphics, and it looks like a freaking comic book, and I'm like, what the hell? Why is it requiring so much horsepower? And then the animations are so bland too. Like these animations are stuff that will get like screamed at if I did this at Full Sail. Like they get shot and the enemies just kind of flicker a little bit. Like what's up with them animations, man? I wouldn't play this, honestly. I couldn't. The graphics alone would completely put me off.
And everyone, he is a graphics bastard. He's very, very, very pissed off. Even when we play H1Z1, he's like, "Man, these graphics are terrible."
They look really ugly.
Yo, every time we got on, this guy was like, "Man, I hate this game," and then we would just play for hours on hours.
It's not just about the graphics though; it's the servers too.
I actually think the servers are good.
The servers were pretty good for that game.
It's 100 people we're talking about in one server. Yeah, that's just technically hard.
And that's a free game too. But the last thing for Void Bastards, we keep deviating. I'm trying to focus. Yo, I'm like an ADHD kid in here. Like, I'm trying to like grab at butterflies, and I'm in the middle of my room. So it's anyways. But
oh, shout out to ADHD kids.
You're an idiot. I have ADHD.
You don't. Lies.
You're an idiot. Anyways,
my whispers say otherwise.
Your whispers. Stop. Why are you both so Game of Thrones central? It's a 12 to 15 hour campaign, but here's one of the coolest thing that is in that game. When you die as one of the prisoners, you come back as another prisoner. There's an endless supply, and they all have their little quirks. Like if you come back as a guy that smokes cigarettes all the time, you're never quiet. Like the screen is never quiet. You're coughing 24/7. Like there's never a moment of quiet. And then if you die as him, you can come back as like a dwarf character, and you can't see out of the windows. You can't look up and look at the windows.
Oh, that's really weird, man.
Yeah, it's a cool new way of thinking about it. Like there's always a new difference. When you die, you'll have like a new advantage or disadvantage or something like that. Or a new perspective. It's really cool.
Oh, that's interesting. And this is still in beta, right?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure if this was like the final product or if this was still a beta.
Let me look, because last time the guys were playing it, because this is pretty old for me. This was like a couple weeks ago that they told me about this. I just got to it now. Let me look, because
I have it up. At least in Steam, it says it's on version 1.2.2, and that's a beta. But I don't know if it's the same for consoles.
It is not on consoles, so yeah.
It's not on consoles at all. Okay, then that clarifies it for me.
Yeah, it's still in beta. All right.
Okay, that's cool. It's kind of cool that for a beta they have full controller support.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I'm like that's why I'm like the graphics might be a little off, but the gameplay is actually really cool. I got to see a bit of recording of my friend gave from his, and it was pretty cool.
Okay. I also want to point out that this one actually got published by the Humble Bundle, which is very weird. I don't think I've ever seen that before. The Humble Bundle, do you know what that is?
No idea.
So if you want to tell us, that'd be great.
Yeah. So basically, every year Steam will do like the Humble Bundle, and basically you'll buy like a bunch of games for really like low cost, and they'll like donate the amount that you pay to some charity of some sort. So then we both benefit because you get the games cheaper, and they basically get to give out money. So yeah, actually the publisher Humble Bundle has a bunch of games that I wasn't aware of. They have about 25 games now. So yeah, just wanted to point that out.
That's so cool. I'm definitely not eating a Starburst right now, but keep talking.
Yeah, you need me to keep talking? That's funny. Stop eating Starburst, bro. It's not good for the environment. Those wraps will end up on top of fish in the sea, bro. The wraps will get them.
It's not my fault.
I thought you said rats.
No, the wraps, the little things that the candies come in.
What if I set them on fire?
That wouldn't be
help?
better. That'll emit gases into the air that we don't want.
Oh my god, but they're so good, dude.
I actually think we've talked pretty much at length about this game. We can kind of move on at this point, unless you got anything else you want to talk about, PG. We could let Aegon do his thing.
Yeah, I was gonna let Aegon move on. Give me one. Go ahead, Aegon. I'm still chewing.
So, like I said last week, I was gonna play a game and give you guys my perspective on it. It's not gonna be a perspective like anyone else would. I'm gonna describe how I see it, because this is how an average gamer sees it.
You mean a casual gamer?
Yeah, in my opinion.
You filthy casual. All right, continue.
Hey, we're trying to get all crowds to listen here. The hardcore gamers, the casual gamers, people who don't even play, who come for the humor, which I bring, obviously.
You bring. So
That's
where
debatable.
is it? Where is it, man?
So
Let me see it.
I played Detroit Becoming Human for the PS4, which I got for $7.99.
Woo, $8.
And it was worth every single penny. I played upwards of 7 to 8 hours of it already, because I had gotten to almost, I want to say, midway, and then my wife saw it and she made me restart because she liked playing it. She was so into it. So the game is way into the future. It starts in 2038, and it's just, the graphics are insane. 10 out of 10. Lord Bealish will love it because the graphics are that good. Yeah, they're that good.
Yeah, they're very good. I'm looking at images right now.
Not to mention how they captured the facial expressions. That was beautiful.
Yeah, it's just, and you get to play with 3 main characters. They're all androids, by the way. I forgot to mention that.
I forgot to mention that.
The main characters.
What he means is that they're like a Moto Z, a Samsung Galaxy S9.
No. So basically, the people in the future made robots so they can have slaves. That's how they portray it in the game. But what happens is that it backfires, because all those androids they made took everybody's jobs, and now everybody hates the androids. But technically, they still need them. So yeah, it's an insane plot. The main character is Ikara.
Ooh, Jennifer Lawrence, my girl.
No, not Jennifer Lawrence. But
it
yeah,
is Jennifer Lawrence. That's her body model. And her voice. Yeah.
That is indeed Jennifer Lawrence. Yes.
No idea. That's
oh my god. Yes.
I don't even know who you're talking about right now.
Dude, that android can serve me up. I don't care if she's killing me or if she's my maid. It doesn't matter. She can serve me up, bro.
Yeah. I'll tear her skin off and have her android body.
Okay, you're fucked up. I mean, I said something that was messed up, but that was fucked up, dude.
I can't.
You gotta chill, Bealish.
The fact that I'm married and my wife is home, I can't really step into this conversation.
I love you, Aegon's wife. Don't say anything bad, bro. Just chill out. Everything's gonna be fine. She only detects movement.
And literally anything you can think about, that's fine.
She's Hispanic, so she detects everything.
Okay.
That's funny.
Continue, bro.
Okay, so like I was saying, the main character is Akara. She's babysitter, technically, and a housekeeper. That's her. That's where it starts. But the cool thing is that it's a lot like. Have you guys ever played Heavy Rain?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, Heavy Rain. Let me see. Beyond Two Souls. Games like that where
Yeah,
you have branching choices.
Yeah, but this game is like one of the main characters can die, and you continue with the other characters. Like that's how insane it is.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, we need to. We're gonna have to like.
I said they can die. I didn't say they do.
You
And
literally
we
implied
don't
it.
know which one. We don't know which one either. Boom.
You didn't put a
And-
disclaimer at all.
It's fine. No disclaimers. This is a modern problem, modern solution. We're just like we didn't tell him which one.
Then the other main character is Connor. He's an FBI agent, an FBI android agent, but he's in charge of only stuff that happens with androids.
Ooh, is he sexy?
You could say that. But
You
the
could
sexy of
say-
them all is the third character. A lot of people might know him from Grey's Anatomy. Jesse Williams. His name in the game is Marcus.
Oh yeah,
He's on the cover.
I saw his. I saw him on the cover. I learned a little bit about his character back when he
Yeah.
first came out. He's like an artist. He helps the artist, right?
Yeah. He's really cool. He protects him. But the cool thing about the person that he protects, he treats him very equally. He lets him be himself and stuff like that.
That's really cool.
Because these androids get treated like crap. They get treated like slaves.
So you're talking about they don't get the dick, they get the wrong end of the dick.
So the tip?
No, like it's like when you're taking a dildo,
That's
but you
always-
put it in the wrong way, dude. You put it in the wrong way. You like put the
You
balls.
can't put in a dildo the wrong way. It's
You
symmetric.
can't. No, it's not. You're an idiot. Have you ever seen a dildo?
I honestly can't say I have.
Dude, I've seen a lot of dildos in my life. I don't want to explain why. I don't want to explain how, but you could put it in the wrong way.
I feel like we've talked about dildos 2 podcasts in a row. Okay, so like I was saying,
Yeah.
you guys are letting me get through this.
Sorry.
Just gameplay, I give it a 10 out of 10. Graphics, 10 out of 10. I'm very hooked on it. So, yeah, you have something to say, Baelish?
I have a bunch of questions. I don't like the moniker gameplay. That's like a lazy, I don't know what's going on in the game world type of saying. So can you like describe to me how it plays out? Are you in third person? Are you in first person? What's going on?
Yeah, you're in third person. I already told you I'm going to describe it my way. So if you want to talk about the RPG and the intuning of the game, no, it's not going to happen with me.
You want me to talk
probably pick you
about-
apart, though. We'll pick you apart.
So you're telling me that you want me to describe it as a role-playing game, even though it's not, and then you want me to put auto-tune, which I believe is a software for audio.
Well, okay, so again, I'm going to describe it my way. If you guys want to go on and play it, go ahead.
He's the casual gamer. Leave him
Yes.
alone. I
Yes.
will
Okay,
slap- I will
I
come
was
over
just
to
trying
you,
to.
Baelish. I will come over and I will slap the fuck out of you. All right. I will host slap the fuck out of you. All right.
You can go for it. That's fine. And all
Yeah,
you talked about was the
basically-
story.
Yeah, that's the most important part of the game. The gameplay,
it's
like
like-
I said, is a lot of you make different choices, and
So-
depending on the choice that you make, is what happens.
It's kind of like an interactive movie, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, and every single so some games when you go from the cutscene to the gameplay, they lose a lot of graphics. This game is like straight up, like you feel like you're in a cutscene the whole time.
60 FPS all the time. Yes. Wow.
Well,
Would
so what
play
you're
again.
saying is that they did it the right way. They did it in a way where they didn't pre-record their scenes, so that way you don't notice the graphic quality drop because there isn't
Yeah.
one.
Like seamless transitions.
Yes, it's very, very seamless. It's crazy. It's like you could see people's eyes, like the color
You
of
could
their
see
eyes.
eyes. Oh my god. What the fuck? What? Shit. I could see eyes now. What the fuck? What?
Keep
Android
talking about
Jennifer
this,
Lawrence.
PG.
Android Jennifer Lawrence. Hit me
Oh
up.
my god. Again. hit me up wherever you're at, Carla. Just go on. Man.
She's badass. No, she's badass. I gotta give it to her.
I'll let you finish your.
I'm not trying to spoil anything. That's why, but Yeah, the game is insane. It's intense. There's moments where you have people you have to protect, and they're about to die, and you have to, it's very very intense. It feels like an action movie.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
So I recommend it a lot. And the game that I'm going to be playing this week, another game that I got for cheap, is gonna be NBA 2K19. I'm probably gonna
Of
create.
course.
I'm probably gonna create a player. I got it for $2.99. I'm probably I'm probably gonna create a player and play it, and I'll let you know how I see it next week.
All right.
Okay. Perfect. Oh, that was actually pretty good, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like stick a flag on top of a hill for you and be like, God, Aegon did it. He claimed everything. He won. No,
The Seven Kingdoms.
but stop. What the fuck is with you guys? No. But I'll give you a good job. I'll pat you on the back.
So when do I get paid?
No, you don't get paid. I'm gonna tell your son you did a good job, and that's about it. He'll look up to you, but you ain't getting paid. No, I don't.
Now,
So
he's not old enough to understand. He probably just asked for milk.
That's fine. Give him a bottle of milk and be like, "Your dad made this," and then he'll be like, "Oh, yay! Clap, clap."
nice. So you don't have anything else to add to that, PG, or should we move on?
No, I think this is a good time to do the intermission since we've done me and his little part at the beginning, and then when we come back from intermission, we will do part 2 with all of your stuff.
Okay, we will be right back.
Hey guys, welcome back to Velocity Culture. We got a little paid promotion by myself once again. So, people ask me, PG, how do you fall asleep at night? I say, I go to sleep holding a picture of myself. And that's what you guys can do. You can have me on a body pillow. Aegon, how will you fall asleep the next few nights?
With the body pillow, of course.
Of course. His wife doesn't need that. His wife doesn't need him around. And he has a body pillow. Why does he need his wife? You see, it works out. Come on, guys. It's only $50 a pop. Grab a PG body pillow anytime. And remember, sleep well, my friends. Stay PG. All right.
Oh my God. Do you need a pen?
Sometimes.
He's like, sometimes at work I need a pen.
Whenever anybody asks me for a pen, I just stare at them, don't say anything.
Make weird eye contact.
They're like, man, what is this retard staring at me? I just asked for a pen.
Does he have problems? Does he have PTSD or something from war?
I just asked him, like, describe
No.
this pen.
He thinks back to high school and all the pens that were thrown at him. And he's like, oh my God, they're coming.
You could be like, I'm a bastard. I've never had a pen.
It always gets back to Game of Thrones, doesn't it?
I choked on my Star
but you're Aegon. Of course it always goes back to Game of Thrones. You are Game of Thrones.
I started Game of Thrones and I ended Game of Thrones.
Because you're a bastard.
You're a bastard.
All right, so I guess I got to get my section rolling. I got some PC gaming stuff here real quickly. So the stuff that Aegon completely doesn't understand. So you know how last week we talked about AMD releasing their Ryzen 9 processors and how they were going to be way better than Intel's at a very much lower price point?
Yeah.
So it turns out the WCCF Tech already released like benchmarks for the processor. And it turns out that the processor is much faster than we expected. So the 16-core AMD Ryzen 9 3950X, it's apparently completely obliterated Intel's i9 9980XE 18-core. So it turns out that that processor is actually, because it's too, it basically seems like they made 2 generations of performance jumps in one shot with the configuration they showed. So basically, they use software called Geekbench to benchmark the processor, and it basically outscored it both in single core and multi-core performance. So essentially, it vastly outbeat Intel's part that it's way more expensive and has 2 extra cores. So it's very, very impressive from AMD if these numbers are to be believed.
Easy. One thing. So what you're saying is my stock in AMD was actually worth it. That's all I want to hear.
I don't know about that because making new processors and new fabs costs a lot of money. So I don't know how that affects them
Baelish,
overall as a company.
Baelish, just tell me I made money, please.
No,
Please,
I'm not going to tell you that.
I have
I'm not
$40 in my bank account, please.
I know I'm the master of coin, but I'm no financial advisor. Okay.
That doesn't make any sense, but continue.
It's backwards. I also want to point out that the platform they showed off was basically had 32 gigs of RAM. The processor was not overclocked, and it basically, that's pretty much what they have. It was running their North Bridge was the AMD Ryzen SoC, and their South Bridge was AMD X470, which is their motherboard platform, which is going to be all the screen motherboards that people are going to be buying in a couple of months. There's actually a few already out. But I don't know if those are going to be compatible with the new processor. I guess it's going to require like a BIOS update or something for you to use those old motherboards to run this new processor. But I guess we'll wait and see.
It's that different.
Architecturally, it's like it's like if you took a die and you shrunk it about 40% and then jammed way more transistors in it.
Oh,
so what that basically means is that you're going to get a lot more performance. I tried to make that simple, but it wasn't. It didn't help.
It wasn't too bad.
I'm sure Akon over there is like going in circles right now in his chair.
Yeah.
Like he's got to be pretty confused.
We gotta ask our resident normal guy.
That's funny. That's freaking hysterical. Kind of what I expected.
Can add to
that. We're just waiting on a great response. Go for it, Akon. We believe in you.
You just spoke French, my friend.
You just.
I didn't know I need French for 2 straight weeks. I learned French without actually knowing it. It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
All right. So, do you ever wonder, like, your PCs have like a bunch of viruses and they're always vulnerable? Well, this will make you a bit more scared.
Like that
This article is from Laptop Mag, and it basically says millions of Dell's PCs are vulnerable to a specific attack. And so basically, it turns out that this software they have in their computers called PC Doctor had a liability where pretty much the last 3 years worth of Dell computers are vulnerable to. That's 100 million computers, my friend. They're all vulnerable to the same attack. It attacks the DLLs within Windows. It's like a DLL injection that goes through that software, and it can basically take control of pretty much the entire PC using that file. They already... Yeah, it was funny. They first heard about it. SafeBreach, a research company, first reported the vulnerability to Dell back in April 29th, but they only recently released a patch for it. So the patch came out on May 28th for it, and Dell said that 90% of the consumers are now safe from the vulnerability as long as they patch, their operating system. They do like an automatic Windows update. And then at that point, that vulnerability will disappear. But that's a pretty big blunder there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now
Dell.
too. 100 million computers. Jesus, dude.
That sounds crazy to think about, right?
Yeah.
So that's all the Lenovo computers, that's all the Dell computers, and that's all the Alienware computers. So those 3 like brands of laptops would all fall into that category. So it's pretty crazy.
This is where the guy just like comes out and he's like, "You done fucked up? Oh, you done fucked up." Yo, like, Jesus. All right.
The most hilarious part about this article is that software that they exploited, PC Doctor, is kind of terrible and kind of useless, and probably shouldn't come with the PC to begin with. That's the funniest part about the article. To begin with, yes. Oh my God, man. That is hysterical. Oh, okay. So let me keep moving around then. See what else we got here.
I feel bad for the 10%.
Do you mean the 80-year-old grandmas that don't know what's going on in the computer?
You mean like Aegon?
You said only 90% is covered by, so I feel bad for the 10%.
Well, because you realize that those 10% are people who didn't update their computers. That's pretty much what it comes down to.
Or you could be sad about like 90% of people in America that are not at the highest percentage. Aegon. Could be sorry for them. But no. You live in a house.
What are you saying?
I have no
I've
idea
lost
what
track
I'm saying. I'm absolutely saying nothing. I'm just trying to make you feel bad at this point.
I've lost track of this conversation at this point. I'm confused.
Me too. Next topic. Let's go with
Oh,
it.
all right. So Ars Technica, one of the more techie sites out there. If you really want to get confused, Aegon, just go read Ars Technica's like tech section because they are complicated. My God. But they released this article called "Light-Based Computers." Light-based computers may parallelize 10 megabit computations. And for anybody who doesn't know what that means, I understand. I had to read the article. I had no freaking idea. Basically, what they're indicating is that, you know how the way you write on modern computers is to like integers, so they're like one byte at a time.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying that they want to build like quantum computing processors that can do 10 megabit computations per second, which would be like enormous, which would be like a computational increase of like 6,000%. Like, it is wild. And basically this article kind of outlines how that's going to happen. So we could actually power like a 10 million pixel monitor, you know, in one computation cycle, which is not really possible right now. Right now we need like a bunch of shaders and video cards to do that. And yeah, I thought it was a very interesting article. So if you guys want to read more about the mystical, you know, light-based computing that exists out there, not really, read this article.
I'm actually reading some of it right now. This is some crazy stuff.
Yeah, and you read. I had to read it a couple times. That is hard to understand. No joke.
I'm gonna be honest. Some of this is again like French to me. Thank you, Aegon, for building up that metaphor right there. But yeah, this is crazy.
Great topic, Bealish. You pretty much sent everybody to sleep early.
Apparently, I didn't send you to sleep early, so I didn't achieve my goal.
Oh, he didn't want you on this podcast, son. Oh,
shots fired. Okay, so I guess I'll keep moving it along, so we all don't have like a brain freeze and start bleeding out our noses from reading this article. This article is also from Ars Technica, and this one's Atari's new VCS console. I'm sure you guys heard about it, and that one was showed off at E3, which, you know, PG over there covered it pretty well. But we were basically finding out that that they're basically going to have, it's going to be a $250 system for tinkerers and user-generated content. So basically, we got a lot more details about it now than we did when it happened at E3.
Because they literally didn't really give anything out at E3.
They really didn't tell you anything that day.
Yeah.
But now we know that it's going to be able to play all the 2600 ROMs. So if you have the Atari 2600 from back in the day, you're going to be able to play all those games. Players are going to be able to buy a $50 wireless controller. So can't wait to buy a controller that your partner are going to use. And then last but not least, we have, it just basically shows that you're going to be able to, they're going to give developers the option to basically do what they do with like, what they're going to be doing with like the Google Stadia and all the cloud services, where they're going to be able to like modify the system to meet the demands of the game. So, which is not something that modern consoles do very well, because this is going to be based off Linux. And they think that they can get the console tinkers to buy this thing and just, you know, basically add their own processor, their own SSD, their own RAM, because those are replaceable. And then they can go ahead and go from there and basically make bootable Atari consoles that do all types of crazy shit, like run Linux. So I thought that was very interesting. Do you guys have any more questions for me about the VCS before I move on?
Huh. So you're going to be able to use pretty much all the pre-existing accessories too.
It looks like it, yeah. But if you want the wireless controller, it's going to cost you more. And in terms of like what it's powered by, they're saying it's a Ryzen 1606G Raven 2 APU, which literally means nothing to me because I've never seen that before. So shout out to Raven APUs that don't really exist.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
how many people are actually going to take advantage of that, though? Switching the processor and.
Honestly, I think that this is not going to sell well at all. I'd be surprised if they sold 2,000 of these. Like, that would be a good number for them.
Yeah, because everybody's already on track with the, you know, the Switch, Sorry, I'm still reading while I'm trying to talk at the same time. But, you know, everybody's already on board with the game systems that we already have, and coming out with something that's just out of nowhere kind of like this probably isn't going to help them either.
The only way they could get some traction of this if Linux gaming platform kind of takes off, because at that point you could just install Linux on it, maybe upgrade the components, and basically make it like a little HTPC, graphics monster that you can run all your Linux games from. But until Linux doesn't get their gaming shit sorted, I don't think this is going anywhere.
Yeah.
So basically, sorry, go ahead.
No, continue.
Basically, what you're saying is when your Dell breaks down, you could use this to run Linux.
When you forget to update your Dell and the
my
vulnerability takes advantage of everything, even when you don't have your shirt on and the webcam's on, you can absolutely use this.
Well, I'm looking at all of this right now, and I don't see myself jerking off in front of any of these anytime soon. So
that's funny. I guess I'll keep moving it along then. This one's kind of weird and kind of exciting at the same time. Have you ever wondered how we're able to detect if images are fake or not? Well, apparently Adobe has an answer for you. Adobe taught an AI how to detect fake images in Photoshop. So basically, this article is from Engadget, and basically it states that basically what I said, where Adobe programs some kind of artificial intelligence to be able to find anything in the image that seems out of the ordinary, compare it to fake images that they put into their AI, and it could determine exactly where is a fake and what is the probability of this image being fake. And it turns out that it is extremely accurate at doing so. In the article itself, it shows you an image of like this Asian girl who got manipulated heavily by somebody, and it actually does like an infrared marking to show you where the manipulations happen. So if you weren't scared of AI knowing stuff, now they even know when our images are not real. So watch out, guys. Skynet. Watch out, bro.
we've been talking about that like a lot lately. How it looks like it's evolving into Skynet, but it's true. Like some of the craziest shit is happening recently. AI is getting smarter, and it's just crazy.
This is gonna end all catfish.
It's not gonna end all catfish because I exist. I will catfish multiple men this week. I'm not gonna lie.
What?
I will get sugar daddies, man. Yeah, of course. I'm gonna get sugar daddies. You think women pay? Women don't pay. Men pay.
Nice. He's got to get a sugar daddy.
I'm gonna get multiple sugar daddies. Who do you think pays for all this Starburst that I'm eating?
I think we've gotten a very dark path when I just wanted to talk about AI, but
But I mean, this also filters into a article that I read this week about how because I was reading about how people identify other faces and how the normal human can maybe they can understand the differences in about 1,000 faces, so that they can really see 1,000 different people and tell who they are. But after that, it's kind of hard for the mind to figure it out, because we're literally looking at patterns. We're not looking at faces distinctly. And so what's been happening is they've been relying on actual AI to look through photos, millions of photos. If you find somebody that committed a crime, they'll look through millions of photos to find the person, and they'll narrow it down to dozens, maybe even 100. And then you have a someone who like deals in like I don't want to say facial mathematics or something. I forgot the name. The people that major in like differences in faces and stuff like that.
Facial Einsteinism.
Yeah, whatever they're called. But I'm sorry if you're one of them. I sound like I'm selecting you out of a billion people for like, but no, they're very important. I'll remember their name later.
When the podcast's over, you remember.
I'll remember, and then I'll say it on the recording again. You can just stick it right in here, and we can cut all this out. But but to be honest, it was insane, because an AI can remember millions of different people, and they can cut it to dozens. It's crazy because they can just understand all those patterns.
Yeah, and at least this particular AI, 99% of the time, it got it right. And then people who deal with art took the same test, and only 53% of them spotted the images correctly. So it's crazy that the AI was actually better than artists that work, at Adobe.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. They're getting better at us than everything.
He's been alive
my whole life.
He's like up until this moment, I've been alive.
Up until when you asked me.
All right, I guess I'll keep moving it along. I got a couple of Google articles to print through now.
Hit me, bro.
So
Hit me.
So this is what happened. Bunch of gossip girls were all over the internet, like Evan Blast, you know who you are. Basically leaking out images about the new Pixel 4. So Google got sick of it and did their own leak. They leaked themselves. How weird is that? So they officially teased it, and we got a full image of what the phone looks like. And basically, it looks a lot like the Pixel 3 XL, except that it has 4 camera sensors. And actually, it has 3 camera sensors, and I'm not sure what that 4th thing is. It could be a camera sensor, or it could be just like the flash. But the image is not detailed enough for me to make that distinction. And I thought it was pretty funny that it was like, "F you to the leakers. You guys want to make some money off of this? I'm gonna cut your source off. I'm leaking it myself." Then we got the camera hump. I don't see a fingerprint scanner, which is probably gonna be behind the display, like the Galaxy S10 and the Moto Z4. And the button placement is a little bit different, but we're already seeing cases for it, and we should see them reveal it pretty soon because now we got pretty much everything we need. I would expect it to have the same processor as all the new Android phones, and I don't know anything about the cameras though, so it'll be interesting to see if it's like 3 12-megapixel cameras, or if they're gonna do one big sensor and one small sensor like the Huawei phones. I guess we'll wait and see.
And I'm looking at the article on why they did it, and this is from this CNET. It's just a random article that says the Pixel 4 leak, and they're saying the reasons why. Reason 1, it claimed it didn't copy the iPhone 11. 2, Pixel 4 might release earlier than October. But reason 3 just got me laughing so quiet. I had to be quiet while you were talking. Reason 3, Google just doesn't care anymore. Oh my god.
Well, I read a separate article that said that they only sold 3.5 million Pixel 3s, which is like horrendous for a big manufacturer. Like if Samsung or Apple did that, they would completely retire. They're done. They're not making phones anymore. But yeah, that's probably why.
I'm looking at the picture. It looks really awesome.
It looks cool, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna catch Aegon, sporting the new Pixel 4. Watch out.
It looks like something that you would sell me into slavery for. Huh? Is that what you're trying to say?
I would definitely sell you Android.
I don't want to be an Android, Dad. Let me choose my own path.
Okay,
you are what they made you.
That's funny. So from one Google article to another one. Remember that I talked about Verizon's RCS implementation last week?
Yeah.
In our podcast.
I don't remember.
Well, you don't remember because you weren't here. You had left already.
But I listened to it again, and I remember.
Well, it was very short, to your defense, and your attention span is like of a hummingbird, So there's that. Basically, Google kind of gave Verizon the bird here. And you know how Verizon was going to do it on 2 models? Google was like, I'm going to do RCS in 2 countries. It's going to be the UK and France.
Yeah,
so basically...
I'm looking at this, and I just keep talking. I'm looking at it, too.
Google was like, oh, you want to do 2 phones? We'll do 2 countries. France, UK, here we go. RCS is going to come on basically any of their phones in that territory. And since at least a lot of the telecommunications company in the UK, they don't compete too much with each other the same way we do here in America, where it's like very cutthroat. Most of the phones are going to get it. And there was a few disclaimers in this article. First and foremost, your mobile data has to get upgraded for it to work through 5G. So only the 5G phones are going to get it. The iPhone 11 won't support it. No surprise there. Apple, you're always late. And then the Pixel 4 is going to have it. So
obviously, yeah.
There we go. Obviously, I would expect that. So it's probably going to be a 5G variant of that. And probably Team Red is the only one who's going to get it. So get to work, guys. Catch up. And then the only major downside is that it doesn't support end-to-end encryption, which WhatsApp and iMessage already do. So what's up with that? We need to get working on that, guys. We don't want to keep giving Facebook our information. So if I don't have to use WhatsApp, I won't. Figure it out, guys. Anyways, that's kind of all I got to say about that.
All right. I'm just looking at it. I'm just like, because it's saying like AT&T is just not gonna be doing like anything with it.
No. AT&T has like deliberately said we don't even have RCS. Like that's not even a thing here. Like
Yeah.
it's like having progressive politicians. Those don't really exist.
God damn, dude! You just made this a political thing. Don't bring this in here. Don't bring this in here. Don't master coin this shit. I'm trying to keep this. I'm trying to keep this family friendly.
You
Is
fuck
it-
here.
Fuck, family friendly. Yes.
Is it me or a lot of the people that buy iPhones are the same people that play Nintendo?
Yes, dude. Yes. They love being behind the whole time.
It's like you tell them to their face that they're behind and there are other products that are much better and they still don't care.
They don't believe you, bro.
Are you guys
That's what
making this? You guys are making this a kind of like I don't want to say racial thing because it's not racial, but it's not sexist either. What would you call this? Techless? Tech?
I don't. There's no word for this. I know you're trying to make one up in real time, but it doesn't really exist.
You guys are Texas. You guys are Texas. Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying Texas.
It doesn't matter what it sounds like we're saying, but you know what we're saying.
PG, what is this podcast gonna be called again?
Oh God.
This episode is gonna be called "You're Texas."
No, that's gotta be like the second part, but the first part is
You not even know the name of this podcast. We've been...
No, I mean this particular episode. We said something about Ninja earlier. I forget what it was.
Oh, Ninja. What was it like? Ninja worst guy? Question mark. Worst player? Question mark.
Oh, worst player? Question mark. There you go. And then after that, you have to say it again. Texas.
Texas.
That's just gonna be confusing. It's two different conversations.
Yeah, that's two different things. I can't believe we're talking about this right now. Can we
I'm
move on?
probably gonna have to cut it, to be entirely honest, but it's fine. It's fine.
Let's move on.
All right. So, remember how I talked about the LG V50 on the Sprint 5G stuff?
Yeah.
So then Verizon was like, "Weak flex, bro. Our LG V50 is gonna come up before yours, June 20th. Here you go." So Verizon actually is going to release a V50 before Sprint, even though that was Sprint's test 5G device. That is hilarious.
So, and what you're telling me is like this past week, it's just been all big companies flexing on each other, really.
They flex on each other so much. It's hysterical.
That's very petty.
Yeah, it says the guy that's like, I hate children.
I never said that.
You did say that. I remember you saying that.
Never said it. Never came out.
Technically, and then they make the final podcast, so it doesn't count.
So,
all right, so back to my little 5G LG 50 5G article here. Basically, it's going to come out selling at $1,000, which is $42, over 2 years, which is pretty standard for an LG V line phone. Yeah. But then, if you remember last week, I told you that the Sprint one was going to cost you $1,152. So again, Verizon was like, "We're going to release it before you, and we're going to release it cheaper." In your face.
In your face. In your stupid face.
For those who want to pick this one up, just know that you're going to need the Beyond Unlimited plan or better if you're going to use the 5G features whenever you get 5G. Still waiting on that. Please, I'm in Kissimmee. Help me out. Give us 5G. Anyways, and then this basically makes this the third Verizon phone that's going to be 5G behind the S10 5G, the Moto Z4 now, and then this one, the LG V50 5G. You guys have any questions for me about it?
No, I just got to say that's fucking awesome that we're getting these 5G phones finally.
Yeah, they're all coming in. They're all coming in hot.
Yeah.
So 5G is not theoretical like it was last year. Because people kept talking about 5G and not actually doing anything. And I'm like, 5G's not real. Come on.
You were like, it's all a conspiracy. 5G's not real.
It's the aliens, man.
Aliens. They've been putting 5G in our minds, man.
Ancient Aliens is going to make like the next episode. 5G phones are not real. Oh my God.
It's the androids.
It's the androids. He's still in becoming human mode right now.
Yeah. The aliens put the androids on Earth to implant us with the 5Gs. I don't know what it means, but they're gonna put those 5Gs in there.
All right, so I'm gonna move to some web browsing stuff, and this is actually kind of funny. So you know how all the PC gamers complain that Chrome uses up too many resources, and they have to close it when they're gaming. You've probably heard that before, right?
Yeah.
So Opera, the one that makes web browser, they're gonna make this this GX browser. It's like a whole new one just for gamers. So they could do RGB lighting, which apparently is a cool thing in gaming right now. I do have a Chroma keyboard. I know all about it. And then it's basically going to restrict the amount of RAM and amount of CPU that it uses, and it's going to be able to do Twitch on it. So there's going to be an extension built into the web browser that allows you to do Twitch. So yeah, for those out there who don't want Chrome to hoggle their memory and all their resources, this might be a good alternative for you. So that's kind of all I got to say about that. Especially those players that are going to play like Cyberpunk 2077. We know that that's going to be a big resource hog when it comes to PC. So yeah. You may need them. You may need it after all.
We will definitely need them, Bealish. Thank you. Now back to our story on all the dead kids in California.
Stop with the dead kids. Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Is he serious?
Continue.
Okay, so back to a more serious note. So have you guys been keeping up what's going on with Huawei and Google lately?
I have not.
Or should I kind of run you down? What's going on there?
You got down. You got to be like that bus and just hit me.
Okay, so it's kind of effed up. So I'll break it down quickly. Basically, Huawei license for using Android as an operating system got pulled from Google entirely. So they can't use Android as their operating system anymore.
Oh,
They can't use it at all. Yeah, it's kind of fucked. So basically, their stock is like tanking because of it. And this article just talks a little bit about Huawei's new OS. So they decided, okay, Google, we're going to give you the bird. We're going to move on, and we're going to create our new operating system, and we're going to go from there. And this article just kind of highlights how it's going to need its own app store and how it's going to need to be built from ground up. Basically, Huawei already has a beta on it, a functioning one that they're showing off. But for the most part, we don't know a whole lot else. And they believe that with their processor, which they basically make in their own fabrication, so they have their own processors, they don't use Qualcomm's or anybody else's, that they can optimize their software kind of like Apple does with iOS and their A-series processors, where they could be really efficient with battery life and performing tasks quickly. So I guess we'll have to wait and see if that ever comes out. But I guess Huawei has to do something because Google basically decided that having the U.S. market was more important than having them, use their OS. So shout out to Huawei.
Shout out to Huawei indeed. Man.
You think they're going to call up Apple?
I think they'll be left on hold even if they called up Apple.
That's because they didn't call properly. They got to call up and ask for Steve Jobs.
Okay, yeah. Well, let me just put you on hold if you're looking for Steve Jobs. just wait 5 minutes. I'll put you on hold. Yeah. Man, those guys are going to be laughing about that for a week.
They're going to be like, "Oh, you may be on hold for an eternity because Steve Jobs is dead." Oh man. So I guess I got a few more topics that I got left, and then we can kind of wrap up this whole podcast. I want to get to my very, very serious but not serious science stuff. And I know Aegon is going to love this because, he loves space stuff.
Obviously, he loves anything science related.
Absolutely anything science related. So it turns out that we have a few big, gigantic telescopes pointing into the skies, and we're able to see a couple planets 12 light years away that are very similar to ours, just going around a nearby star. So it's pretty exciting. They look habitable. They look exactly like ours from far. And astronomers predict that we might be able to live there, in 300 years if we can get there. And basically,
the biggest part.
It's known as the Tea Garden star. It's basically about 8 billion years old. And it's nearly twice the age of our sun, because our sun is just 4 billion years old. So... And then it turns out that the planets that they were looking at are very similar in size, and there's only 2 in their orbit, unlike ours. It's just the sun and those 2 planets. There are no other planets, which it looks super weird, because ours has 8 or whatever.
Bealish, I've played enough Mass Effect to know that some solar systems only have 2 planets, and it's normal to me. It looks fine.
You're like, I'm an expert because I play
I'm an
Mass
expert.
Effect.
I know how to land on comets and asteroids. Don't worry about it.
Of course you do. Just some interesting facts about the star is that one of the planets was they basically called Tea Garden Star B, which is the worst name ever. Completed an orbit in merely 4.9 Earth days. So that would be how long the year is over there. It's basically nothing.
Almost 5 days. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, every 5 days, a year went by in that orbit, and then
so I would be like 300.
Yeah,
you
would be like,
that.
oh, yeah, you'd be way more than that. You would be like 1,045 or something ridiculous.
So, do they know if it has like any tilt to it or anything? Would there be seasons or anything? Do they know?
We don't know enough about the orbit to know if it has seasons. But if we believe they're like Earth, those planets, we're gonna assume that they're very similar. And then the other orbit lasts 11 days. I mean, 11.4 days. So not a whole lot longer.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty. That's pretty. That's very pretty. But that's quite a bit longer compared to the first one. That's double the time. So that's not anything to laugh about in comparison. So.
Yeah, so we actually found it because their star did like an enormous like solar flare, and the telescopes picked it up because we hadn't seen it before. So that's how they figured out it was there.
You also said it was the system was a lot older, right?
Yeah. The star that they're going around is a lot older. It's about twice as old as our star.
So even if we got there, wouldn't it be a threat of it becoming either, becoming like a
white dwarf or a black hole?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I was like, he's drowning. I have to tell him.
Anybody that's listening to this, it's almost 4 a.m. You have to give me, Aegon, and Bealish a little bit of breaks, but yeah, wouldn't there be a risk of it?
That's more complicated than that. So we know how old it is. We don't know the exact size, and we don't know in what stage of its development that star is. So some stars could last way more than ours. Like, for example, Betelgeuse, which is the largest star we can analyze from here, is about 3 times older than ours, about 18 times the size, and it's going to last a lot longer than ours too. But when that one explodes, it's going to kill way more planets than ours. So there's that.
And I forgot you did say this is a relatively new. We don't know a whole lot about them yet.
No, we don't. I don't know. I don't have any dimensions on the star. We don't know, like I said, how big it is. What's the gravitational pull from it? Because that matters too. The bigger the gravitational pull, the more likelihood that it becomes a black hole when it dies. And then, last but not least, we don't know. We don't know if those planets have moons either. So that'll be very interesting to see if they have moons and what's going around those planets right now. Because like our Jupiter, it's possible that those planets have a bunch of moons, not just one.
So we would be up all day and all night. Wow.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe the day is like really fast changing, and it'll be like you're playing GTA. Who knows? Right?
Oh God, I don't need to be. I don't need to be shot as soon as I spawn. I'm all right. I think I'm good.
We should send a monkey up there.
Right. That's the solution to everything.
Dude? No, what is up with you and monkeys? I want to point that out. What is
I
up
love
with
monkeys.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He's dying. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
he's having some mechanical failure at this point. So basically, my second space article is called "Gold Prospecting Astronomers Draws the Universe's Oldest Star." So it turns out that they did a few studies, and they're trying to determine which one are the oldest stars and how they affect heavy metals, because they believe that all the heavy metals came from the biggest stars. And typically the biggest stars are the ones that have the most time, because they've had the most time to collect energy from the surrounding area. So they did some numerical simulations of the Big Bang, and they were able to basically pinpoint stars that they believe created, very, very dense metals like gold and platinum. And it's actually a very cool article. It actually references several different studies that they did to get there. But they were able to determine that, it was mostly the bigger stars that are closest to the supermassive black hole in our universe. In our galaxy, that they can pinpoint that actually create most of the metals. So the same nebulas that create stars and stuff like that are actually responsible for creating the most complicated minerals we have available. So, that's pretty much the basis of that article.
That is really cool. So we
Yeah,
know
yeah.
where we got those minerals. That's incredible.
Because it was initially believed that they just could have came from anywhere, like any nebula of any star could have generated them. But it turns out that these particular minerals, at least a high amount of them, have to come from the bigger stars because they just don't generate enough force to basically cram enough atoms together to create those elements. So yeah, I hope that wasn't overly complicated.
Yeah, because in Smallville, the minerals come from everywhere.
What?
Somebody save me!
That should be our
Oh.
intro song. What a song.
Oh yeah. I'm probably gonna have to cut that out because I don't want to get hit with a copyright strike. But whatever, guys.
They're not gonna copyright me just going "Somebody save me."
That terrible song.
Yeah,
I mean,
they'll
that
totally
terrible
copyright
voice
it.
singing the song.
They won't copyright that. You can't even tell it's the same song.
Hey, you'd be surprised how advanced Google's like AI for copywriting is. All it takes is like 5 to 10 seconds of a song, and they can break it down.
Do you realize that people react to full music videos and watch the whole thing and then talk about it?
As long as you don't show any video,
we'll be
typically you're
fine.
good on YouTube. Yeah, you're typically
They
good as long as you
show,
don't show any
they
video.
show
They
the whole
they do
video.
show the video though.
The
I'm
Okay,
whole
surprised-
video.
I don't understand how they don't have copyright strikes. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, typically the bigger YouTube channels get hit harder with copyright strikes than everybody else because more people view them, and monetizing becomes a problem with that. But if you're a
Yeah.
small channel, then not really a problem.
But anyways, let's not get onto that.
Okay, so one last article, and this is from our favorite people in the world. You know who I'm talking about, SpaceX. The division under,
I don't know who they
Elon
are.
Musk. So SpaceX is just like it's NASA's like basically competing space exploration company. And they basically send-
There's no competition.
They're working together at this point, but I like to think of them as competition. Like they're gonna get there first. But anyways, they're basically known for blowing up a bunch of rockets, trying to do stupid shit, like the Falcon Heavy, which colossally failed when they launched it way back in last June. But yeah,
It broke my heart.
yeah, they destroyed it, and we got to see it on Instagram Live. It was funny.
Was there a monkey in it?
There was nothing in it except they just
Hey,
lost
Tom.
like $3 million.
Aegon, you're a monkey, please.
I love monkeys, bro.
About to
Whoa.
die. We need to finish this.
Yeah, I got one last article left. He'll survive.
He'll
So
survive.
basically, they want to use the Falcon Heavy rocket, which we saw fail, and then we saw it succeed. They want to use that Falcon Heavy rocket to basically carry something called a deep space atomic clock. Bear with me, it's complicated.
Okay.
So they want to use this atomic clock to kind of like determine like how much time is going to be spent in space travel, and what is the difference between our clock and what the time is in like normal like that space, like because they don't know how time is affected by by gravity and those type of situations. It's going to weigh about 35 pounds, and they're going to basically going to mount it on this rocket, and they're going to send it up there, and they're going to try to use it as like a GPS tracking system for any other spacecraft that are going to be leaving Earth and maybe going to moons or maybe to Mars. And basically we're going to see if we can keep track of time independent of gravity, which is really crazy because typically time and gravity go together. So yeah.
Yeah,
But-
and it says it's only going to last for about a year to demonstrate that it works.
Yeah, they are set. They basically launched it on the 22nd, so a couple days ago. And the atomic clock itself is from NASA. It's not from SpaceX. The rocket is from SpaceX. So that was more like a collaboration there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what data we get when that thing is up there. It's going to be very odd if it starts telling us that we're wrong and we don't understand time at all. That'd be freaky.
And it doesn't drift any more than 1 nanosecond in 10 days. Refined to limit drift to no more than 1 nanosecond in 10 days.
Yeah, bro. They basically did it
Jesus.
so like gravity doesn't affect it. So it's going to be spinning the whole time, like some crazy, space
That
age
is
shit.
crazy. Man,
Yeah,
That
man.
is nuts.
you're
That is
nuts,
wild.
bro.
That is bananas.
Stop making ape jokes. You're
All right.
You're not a monkey.
So basically, I've burned through all my topics this week. So do you guys have any final thoughts? before we wrap it up?
I don't really have final thoughts. I wanted to mark where they could find you guys and me. If you want to give your handles real quick.
So you can find me again on PSN. I am Peter Bealish _MLC. That's all caps. And basically, just hit me up. Want to play something? Let's roll. I don't mind. Whenever you want.
My handle of Twitter is A_Kingslayer. And my handle for PSN is Agon_Kingslayer. Come and get your butt whooped in Madden. I'll be happy to. And I'll tell you how much Nintendo sucks while I whoop your butt.
Please stop doing that. We have, but and you guys know you can find me on Steam at PyrricGuy. You guys can find me on PSN at PyrricGuy. And if you guys want to tweet at me, find me at PyrricG because I'm the realest G. Everybody knows that. But I'll be happy to take any questions. If you guys want to like, subscribe, listen to the podcast every week. Hopefully we'll be getting our Far Cry 5 edit up this week sometime soon. To be honest, we haven't really been on that, but we'll hopefully get that up soon and we'll give you guys a little bit more content. And that's it for this week on Velocity Culture. Remember to stay PG. Good night, guys.
Master of Coin out. See ya.